Hello, hello. Can you hear me? Are you clear? Can you hear me? Yeah. Ready? Honorable, good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, so the finance minister will be here. What are your preliminary expectations?
Yes, as a nation, where we have come to this time, my expectation as a member of parliament is for government to really go by the manifesto pledges. Make things better for Ghanaians, praying prices of goods and services to continue to fall. Inflation, I'm getting the descent that is about 9% now, single digit inflation. We pray should continue. The dollar or the foreign exchange currency should continue to go downward for us, because most of our things are about importation. So if the dollar continues to fall, it means it will finally inure to the benefit of Ghanaians, where prices of goods and services will also continue to fall. Because as it is now, the government agri policy, we can't say has been able to take off fully, because they've just planted. Are you getting me? Harvesting will come off around September, October, thereon. So that will be the time we will actually see the impact from agri. But let me also put it on record. We are aware, we do from the northern sector, aware that the rainfall patterns are not good enough. And so for us to reap from agri in the very near future, government will have to go more on irrigation. We have a lot of rivers surrounding us. Government will have to plan intentional irrigation using the water bodies, maybe by solar and all those things. So for this year, because of the nature of the pattern of rainfall, I'm not very comfortable. We only pray that the Lord does good for us, so that the government can achieve its policies. Now, the government pledged for tractor machinery services, tractor services for constituents and other people. I know we don't manufacture tractors and those equipments in Ghana. They have to import. We are praying it should be success. The agri minister has been going up and down. The trade minister has been going up and down. And we know at the long run we will succeed and Ghana will be the winner. We don't pray doom for oil prices to also continue to be stable, because there are a lot of things we don't control, and that as a developing country. But so far, not bad, because the Minister of Finance and the Economic Management team, they are not doing bad. At least they are not doing bad. All CSOs will listen to, all organizations, market women will listen to. But one thing must also be on record. That as a nation, some traders are very wicked. Some traders are very wicked. Wicked in the sense that they bring the goods and they refuse to reduce the prices.
Particularly when
the dollar is down. You see, there's some claim it is the old stock. But up to now, I'm sure there are no old stocks in the system. So I was talking to your other stations like TBS was this. I said it. I said the localities, we should have people to go around like the old ancient time. People who are citizens should go around monitoring prices of goods, because if cement, for instance, is selling in Accra around 80 cedi, it shouldn't sell more than 90 cedi in the Upper East and other places. If not, government should let its attention go to those commodities, and so that it's not about price control, but it's about government to watch out for people, businessmen who are just morally wicked. Or maybe I'm a businessman, the government is not my government, so reduction in prices I won't do. No, it's bad. The nation, we need to do things to cushion almost everybody. These are the things I can say so far.
Thank you very much. So I'll just quickly move to my colleague George AC, and we'll before I go to George, let me just speak to Honorable and just get his thoughts on the 2025 media budget. Honorable, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Yeah. You're looking good.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
You also look good.
The economy is good.
Anyway, what are your initial expectations for today's presentation?
The expectations are that we're not expecting the finance minister to be asking for more money. You remember on 29th March, we passed appropriation bill of 292 billion. And this government, very mindful of our prudent economic policies, we've promised the good people of Ghana, and also tight fiscal discipline, coupled with a value for money, anchored on very strong fiscal discipline. We're not going to ask for more money Two, I'm not expecting any big surprises, any big taxes.
In terms of taxes.
Exactly. And we will build on the strong foundation that has been laid over the past 6 months. You remember we took over when inflation was 24%, now down to 13%. If you look at non-food and non-alcoholic, it was 28%, now down to 16%. If you look at food, 19%, down to 11%. So things are going well. Petrol around 70 cities, down to 55 cities. $1 was around 16 cities now, under 11 cities. So these are the foundations we're going to build upon, and that's exactly what the finance minister is going to talk about, and that will be anchored on productivity. We've been talking about productivity, and the 24-hour economy. Today, he is going to talk about how, based on the strong foundation we've laid, we're going to chart the path of productivity. So these are some of the things we are expecting today.
Honorable, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
We'll find you
I'm very confident the finance minister, fantastic 6 months. If you look at the first quarter growth, agri sector alone grew over 6% in the first quarter. If you look at the last 6 months, consumer price index, the inflation keeps coming down. Fitch has upgraded us from restricted default to now B-. And as a result of the confidence in the economy, IMF has released 370 million of the 3 billion tranche, and World Bank has also approved 360 million to strengthen the economy and lay down resilient growth. So the numbers are looking good, and we're expecting that this budget will push us to translate that into the pockets of the people. Prices of goods and services already coming down, and we will see real difference in the last quarter of the year.
Honorable, thank you very much. Thank you. Yes, Honorable. Honorable, good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Doing well.
Yeah, you're looking good.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, so what are your expectations for the media review today?
Ghanaians are anticipating that are we going to continue the gains this His Excellency has gained for Ghanaians. But actually, let me tell you, we are going to even experience more, because any form of recruitment is happening this time around. Clearance will be given, goods and services that we anticipated that prices should come down. Indeed, we are going to experience it. So trust me, this government is committed, and we are going to see epitome of that goodwill that people have given to His Excellency John Dramani Mahama.
Honorable, before you go, but there are also concerns in the market that the traders don't want to reduce the prices despite the CD gaining on the forex market. 2
days ago, I believe that the anticipation was that the Ghanaian cedi was going to fall again. But for the past 6 months, consistently it has gained. Yeah, there has been some stability. So I don't see why our people feel that we are not going to make the gains happen. Yes, we are just 6 months old as a government. For the past 8 years, this currency has lost month on month, and I feel they have genuine concerns. But unfortunately, for the past few days, months, this thing has actually happened. So please, they should calm down for us. We are going to sustain these gains.
Thank you very much. Yes, I'll just move quickly. Honorable, good morning.
Hello.
How are you? Just your quick thoughts on the budget presentation today, the media review.
Yes, thank you. I think so far the government has done very well. We have demonstrated to the people how prudent we can in the management of the economy. We have ensured that the dollar has bowed somehow to the cedi. The cedi has improved significantly. We have affected the lives of motorists by ensuring that fuel prices are reduced drastically. As we are going in there, I expect Atto-Forson, who is Honorable Atto-Forson, who is forcing for Mother Ghana, to tell us more about more of the things he's putting in place, the measures he's going to embark upon to ensure that the economy gets better. Some of us are having aspirations of seeing the inflation get to single digits. We are looking forward to making sure that the dollar, dips further, down. We're ensuring that measures that are being put in place now will positively affect the lives of the people. Because you see, when you do all of these and the people don't feel it, it's a challenge. Yes, you have reduced the dollar and what have you. Now we have to see the practicality of it. So I believe that it's going to say things that will make sure these things happen practically.
But finally, there are murmurings that your colleagues on the other side are planning a boycott. What's your reaction on that?
Oh, I mean, it's in their DNA. You know, yesterday they did, the day before, and so on and so forth. The fact that you're in opposition doesn't mean you should oppose everything that government brings to you. I mean, they couldn't manage the economy this well. Obviously, we have done way better than they did. If they have anything to do at all, they should sit in there and applaud Atufosi, applaud His Excellency John Mahama, applaud the majority for the prudence that we have exhibited. I mean, we have established a gold board, which is to ensure that all the gold, that are mined do not, disappear into smuggling and what have you. That there's accountability in that regard. It's ensuring that we are recouping good monies, for the government that would have gone away. So all these things we are doing to make sure Ghana gets better. They didn't do it this way, and obviously they couldn't have done any better. What they did was their worst, because they brought in all their best. You understand? They had a finance minister that became a tug of war to change, because there was no better alternative. And in the end, what they got worsened the plight of Ghanaians. You felt it. All of us felt it. Today, can you tell me that what you went through, the hardship you went through the last time, under the previous government, is the same thing now? No. All the indicators are positive, which shows that Ghana is getting better. And trust me, by the time we end the first 4 years, Ghana will be a better place.
Thank you. Dr. Stephen Awa, quick, just.
It's English.
Yes, English.
Let's do it together. Yes.
So we have Dr. Stephen Awa.
First of all, what's your expectation of your brother, Dr. Atufosi? Thank you for this opportunity. I'm expecting that they come here and speak the truth. Nothing but the truth. Nothing but the truth. 2, I'm expecting that the truth, I mean that 7 months down the line, the NDC government has not done anything. But anybody that says they are doing bad or good is not being honest. Because they are still at the formative stage of their government. Even tomorrow, they are vetting some ministers. They haven't finished forming their boards. They haven't put a peswa in the road fund. So how can anybody say that NDC government is doing well or not? If I say they are doing well, I'm being a liar. If I say they are not doing well, I'm being a liar. We need to be honest with ourselves. Everything that we are seeing today is as a result of what they inherited. They presented a budget here. No, boss. No, stop that, please. Behave, I beg you. No, look. Dr. Atufosi presented a budget here. I wish you had it here. In fact, economy that was at one point grew 0.4%. You remember the world crisis, that the world grew negative 3.3. By the time we were leaving power, it was growing 5.66%. He said it here. Inflation had gone to 54.1. By the time we left power, it had reduced to about 22. You were here in his own budget. Primary balance had been doing well, better than even 2016. GDP was higher than 2016, 3.4. Exchange rate went to 54%. It had come to about 16. So the economy had been fully recovered. It's like having a terminal disease. And then you are healed. And after being healed, your palm that was pale, your eyes that was pale, the food you could not eat, you started recovering. And this is what they have inherited. But you can't say they are doing good or bad because they are still forming their government. Then let's not keep on always deceiving ourselves as a country. For once, NDC and PP, we should forget about it when he said they change the story. That every day
Honorable members, due to the nature of business today, we have to vary the order of business as captured on the order paper. And so I want to call on you to let us start with order paper addendum. Order paper addendum. So we'll move straight to at the commencement of public business. Sorry?
Mr. Speaker.
Yes, please.
We don't, with respect, we don't have the order paper addendum. So I would like to draw your attention to that. We haven't seen it.
Honorable members, please, we are still in transition, so sometimes it can be an oversight, but is there in the soft copies are there with you? It's just that we are used to hard copies, so sometimes we don't look at the system. So it's available, order paper addendum. We have one, but it's not numbered one. It's just order paper addendum. Then there's order paper addendum 2. So we'll start with the order paper addendum. Yes, please, Majority Leader.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker. So we'll take item 1 on the order paper addendum.
So in the order of our business, it is preferable for us to start with item 3 before we come to presentation and first reading of bills and presentation of instruments. Yes, Deputy Minority Leader.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I think I whispered something in your ear that we would like our Chief Whip to make a statement before we take that agenda. Thank you.
Yes, you are right. You whispered to me that you have a short statement you want to make to draw our attention to something. So please, may I listen to the Minority Chief Whip?
Speaker, I'm grateful for your kind. Wait, I want them to be quiet before. Electoral violence, Mr. Speaker, is increasingly rearing its ugly head in our fledgling democracy. Mr. Speaker, the recently rerun 19 polling stations at Ablekumanov is truly revealing.
Honorable Minority,
Speaker,
Honorable Minority Chief Whip, just a minute. Honorable members, the Minority Chief Whip is raising a very serious matter. Election violence. I think it's a matter that we should take note of and devote a day to dilate on it. And at the end of the day, take a position, because we need everybody to be on board. It takes away a lot of the shine of our democracy in this country. And so what he's talking about is a serious matter. It's not something for us to just gloss over. But I want to plead with him, because I didn't know the statement was on this subject matter, because I myself have noted it, and my intention is for us to devote a day and enough time to take this matter through. It worries all of us, particularly you, the players, must be more worried than any other person, because the violence will be meted up to no other persons apart from you, the players. So it's something that we should take some time, and I want to urge the Minority Chief Whip to let us stop today, because we don't have time to do that. And our nation, in spite of what we're talking about today, are focused on hearing what the minister is going to tell us about the media review. Then we'll get enough time to handle your matter. Thank you so much.
Speaker, with respect, I will not on any day defy your authority. But Speaker, we have lined up a number of activities to back home our demands. And to the extent that these violence visited are not atoned, we cannot be part of the presentation of the media budget. And to that extent, Speaker, to that extent, we are exiting the parliament and cannot be part of this process.
Yes. Yes, Majority Leader.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. This side of the House definitely agrees that electoral violence is not something that any of us should countenance. We do agree that as a country, we should be committed to ostracizing any form of electoral violence. We agree with them. Indeed, Mr. Speaker, yesterday I attended the National Executive Committee of the National Democratic Congress on behalf of this side of the House. And the issue of electoral violence was discussed. And I attended a meeting of the National Executive Committee of the National Democratic Congress, and there was a clear commitment by the National Executive Committee to take steps to deal decisively with the issue
Honorable Majority Leader, once I did not permit the statement to be made, I don't think it's proper for you to make comments on it. So what you've done is sufficient. Let's move on to business and do what is proper for today.
Yeah.
As I said, we'll have another day to discuss this matter.
Yeah, Mr. Speaker, I agree with you. Just one last
No,
sentence.
but it will not be fair that after I've stopped you,
yes,
I allow you to make comments on it.
Unfortunately, Mr. Speaker, we couldn't stop them from walking out.
No.
We couldn't stop them from walking out.
Well,
and the whole nation has seen them walk out.
Whether it's fortunate or unfortunate, that's a different thing altogether. Let's go on with today's business.
That is so, Mr. Speaker.
Please.
Except that I will land.
There's no except. There's no except.
Okay, Mr. Speaker. So we will take item number 3 on the addendum order paper.
Yes, honorable members, before we do that, let me just acknowledge the presence of our august visitors from a number of our schools and other institutions. We have over 32 students from the Boma Senior High School, led by the headmaster of the school in the person of George Ampofo. The school is located in the Tano North constituency. Yes, they are up there to my right side at the public gallery. Please, you are welcome. And what just happened is what we call a walkout. It's part of the practice of democracies all over the world. When sometimes you disagree strongly with an issue, you walk out. After they finish with that item, you walk in and continue. When you boycott, you just don't attend at all. Then that one will be a boycott. But this one, they were present and they did a walkout. It doesn't prevent business from going on. Once you have the quorum to transact business, you have to go on. If you have the numbers to take a decision, you proceed with that. Okay. So please, you are warmly welcome. And even though you have been welcome with your MP welcome you, so please, you may resume your seat. It's an experience. I'm sure you'll never forget of it. Yes, we have 41 students also from Sewa Kese Girls Senior High School, also from Tano North. They are led by the head mistress of the school, in the person of Margaret Anane Ajay. They are also to my right, you know, and one common thing about them, they are beautifully attired. You know, both institutions, they are well dressed. I hope you get time, even though he walked out, to take a picture with him. Please, you are welcome. You may resume your seats. We have students from the University Practice Senior High School, led by the teacher, Mr. Andrews Amo Smith. The school is located at the Cape Coast North constituency, and there are 36 36. 36 of them are here. You are warmly welcome. Kindly resume your seat. You are lucky your MP didn't walk out. We have also from the Jamase Pentecost Child Development Center. There are 55 in number, and they are led by the director of the center in the person of Magdalene Kobla. This center is located in the Afija-Sechere East constituency. 55 of them are here. I, in the absence of your MP, welcome you to the House. But as I advised, please, it's a good opportunity to have a shot with the MP. I'm sure he'll be waiting outside for you. Honorable members, you may resume your seats. We also have the presence of a number of visitors from the Kuna Presby Child Development Center. They are led by the director of the center in the person of Peter Kwache. There are 56 in number, and that is also from Afija-Sechere East constituency. It's a good day for you because you will never forget about this day. That you came, you saw, and the House has warmly welcomed you, and particularly they are dressed in a branded uniform with some designs, very unique designs. Please, you are most welcome. Resume your seats. And the last is 12 gentlemen and ladies from the MDAs and CSOs on basic parliamentary training. Are you hearing the name? MDAs and CSOs on basic parliamentary training. They are led by the team leader, Mohammed Mutari Al-Hassan. Please don't train them on this, what happened today. There are 12 in number. And because of the nature of the institute, they are not specified where it is located, which meant that it's made out of a collection of many people from all over the country, MDAs and CSOs all over the country, and they participate in basic parliamentary training, and this is being handled by the Parliamentary Training Institute, which is located and created here by Parliament itself. So that's what we're doing, giving them basic parliamentary training. But definitely they will explain what has happened to you. You are warmly welcome. You may resume your seats. Yes, honorable members, we now move on to item 3, motion. Minister for Finance. Majority Leader, you may usher in the Minister for Finance to move the motion. Yes, Minister, motion number 3, that this Honorable House approves the mid-year fiscal policy review of the budget statement and economic policy of the Government of Ghana for the 2025 financial year. Minister for Finance. Honorable members, please, I'm watching all of you. Yes, Minister.
Right Honorable Speaker, before I proceed with the media review, I would like to pay a tribute to the former President, Professor John Evans Atta Mills, whose unfortunate demise occurred on this very day, 24th of July, 13 years ago. Mr. Speaker, may his gentle soul rest in perfect peace. Mr. Speaker, I beg to move that this House approves the mid-year fiscal policy review of the budget statement and economic policy of the Government of Ghana for the 2025 financial year. Right Honorable Speaker, I'm back to the House today with deep sense of duty and optimism to present the mid-year fiscal policy review of the 2025 budget statement and economic policy of government on behalf of His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama. Mr. Speaker, this presentation is in line with Section 28 of the Public Financial Management Act, 2016, Act 921. Mr. Speaker, I respectfully request the entire mid-year fiscal policy review to be captured in a Hansard while I present the highlight. Mr. Speaker, this review is more than a fiscal update. It is an account of what we inherited and the positive results of our stewardship in the last 198 days. Mr. Speaker, following his re-election with an overwhelming mandate, President John Mahama inherited an economy in deep distress, far worse than what we had imagined. The economy was marked by large imbalance with huge MDA arrests, massive debt, weakened institutions, and heightened public anxiety. Since 2023, the debt in the cocoa and energy sector had in particular posed significant fiscal risk to the Ghanaian economy. The Ghanaian private sector and the business community looked on in despair. Public trust was completely eroded, the national spirit was broken, and the foundation of our economy had sunk even deeper. Mr. Speaker, the budget deficit had ballooned because of reckless commitment and wasteful spending. The indebtedness of the government had culminated into state insolvency. The impaired balance sheet paralyzed almost every single state enterprise. High cost of living and inflation impoverished large segments of the population, eroding the real value of their income and savings. Right Honorable Speaker, the mismanagement of our public finances by the previous administration led to a devastating haircut through the DDEP, which denied pensioners and middle class their lifetime savings, their livelihood, and in fact, their dignity. Mr. Speaker, Eurobond holders also suffered painful haircuts, severely affecting Ghanaian businesses and financial institutions. Soaring interest rates crowded out essential spending on education, health, and infrastructure. Right Honorable Speaker, the Ghana cedi depreciated against all major currencies to levels never seen before, making it the worst performing currency in the world. Public sector corruption reached an all-time peak. As President Mahama said, the whole of Ghana was indeed a crime scene. Mr. Speaker, investor confidence waned considerably, significantly reducing investment inflows. The public debt reached unsustainable levels. The unemployment situation worsened, which made it difficult for Ghanaians to find decent jobs. Many micro, small, and medium enterprises collapsed under the weight of economic mismanagement. Right Honorable Speaker, to compound all this, the country suffered credit rating downgrades by all three major credit rating agencies, placing Ghana firmly in default or junk territory, never seen in the history of Ghana. Mr. Speaker, to further illustrate the enormity of this economic burden, we inherited an IMF program which had derailed and completely gone off track, with key targets missed, putting our economic recovery program in jeopardy. In the words of the Deputy Managing Director of the IMF, Mr. Boli, the program had deviated substantially from its target by close of 2024, unquote. Mr. Speaker, we also inherited weak commitment control systems and irresponsible spending, which left arrests of over 67 billion and contract commitment of about 194 billion Ghana cedis. Right, Honorable Speaker, we inherited a bleeding energy sector with annual financing shortfall in excess of $1.5 billion US. We inherited a debt-riddled cocoa sector with liabilities of 32 billion Ghana cedis, a weak financial sector with significant non-performing loans, despite pumping over 30 billion Ghana cedis into the so-called financial sector cleanup. Right, Honorable Speaker, steep debt repayment harms were also inherited, where at the time, Mr. Speaker, we inherited repayment harms of 20 billion for the year 2026, 50.3 billion for the year 2027, and 45.8 billion for the year 2028, as well as significant short-term treasury bills maturities of about 137 billion Ghana cedis. Mr. Speaker, we inherited depleted buffers needed to cushion the country from any fiscal or external shocks, with empty sinking fund. And Mr. Speaker, we inherited stored projects, about 55 of them tied to bilateral debt restructuring, with about $3 billion US in undisbursed loans. Mr. Speaker, the root of our 2022 economic crisis can be traced directly to an overbearing fiscal dominance, marked by reckless spending and corruption, compounded by poor leadership of the previous NPP administration. Mr. Speaker, the worsened fiscal situation spilled over into the monetary and external sector, causing a rapid depreciation of the Ghana cedis. The monetary financing by the central bank reached an all-time high, driving inflation to levels never seen in decades. Mr. Speaker, there was a complete lack of coordination between the Ministry of Finance and the Bank of Ghana, signaling the highest level of incompetence in the management of our economy. Mr. Speaker, in the face of all this dire inheritance bequeathed by the Akufo-Addo Bawumia administration, the government of President John Dramani Mahama made a conscious decision not to make excuses, but to reset our country. We chose the path of structural reforms and transformation. We set out to reset our economy, restore good governance, and policy credibility. We renewed our social contract with the Ghanaian people and redefined national priorities by being deliberate in both our policy choices and approach to economic management. At the very onset, we organized the National Economic Dialogue and the National Education Forum. Mr. Speaker, we held direct engagement with key groups and stakeholders, including market women, trade unions, youth organizations, and traditional leaders. Mr. Speaker, you may recall that clear policy measures were outlined in the 2025 budget presented to this House in March this year. In our new economic model, Mr. Speaker, we tightened fiscal discipline without compromising social spending. Right, Honorable Speaker, the recent IMF Executive Board affirmed this new economic management model, noting that faced with large policy slippage and reform delays at end 2024, the new NDC administration had taken bold corrective actions to maintain the program on track. Right, Honorable Speaker, the IMF further noted that these corrective actions, combined with continuous structural reforms and an improved external sector, are expected to result in economic stability, resilience, and inclusive growth. Mr. Speaker, we streamlined and increased investment in education, health, agriculture, and infrastructure, as well as employment. In fulfillment of our major manifesto pledge, we established the Ghana Gold Board through Act 1140 to accumulate foreign exchange to support the stability of the Ghana cedi. We have restored coordination between the Ministry of Finance and the Bank of Ghana to ensure a cohesive and integrated approach to economic policymaking across relevant institutions. Mr. Speaker, in less than 200 days, we have brought back clarity, certainty, stability, and purpose to our economic policy direction. Right Honorable Speaker, we have made significant progress. The signs of recovery are obvious, evident, noticeable, visible, tangible, and they are being felt. Mr. Speaker, Ghana's fiscal position has significantly improved. The primary balance on commitment basis posted a surplus of 11.1% of GDP at the end of June 2025, beating the ambitious 0.4% surplus target for the same period. Right Honorable Speaker, the overall fiscal deficit on commitment basis was 0.7% of GDP, outperforming the target of 1.8% at the end of June 2025. Mr. Speaker, inflation has reduced significantly from 23.8% at the end of December 2024 to 13.7% at the end of June 2025. Mr. Speaker, it's important to note that this is the lowest since December 2021 and marks 6 months of continuous decline. Interest rates are declining with a drastic drop in Treasury bill rates. The 91-day Treasury bill rate has reduced from 27.73 in December 2024 to 14.73 in June 2025, a decline of over 1,300 basis points. Mr. Speaker, the 182-day T-bill rate has reduced from 28.43% in December 2024 to 15.34 in June 2025, a decline of another 1,300 basis points. Mr. Speaker, the 364-day T-bill rate has also reduced from 29.95 in December 2025 to 15.76 in June 2025, marking a decline of over 1,400 basis points. Gross international reserves has significantly improved, Mr. Speaker. The Bank of Ghana accumulated $11.12 billion, covering 4.8 months of import at the end of June 2025. And this compares to $8.98 billion, covering a 4 month of import as at end December 2024. Mr. Speaker, the Ghana cedi has demonstrated exceptional resilience and strength in recent months. At the end of June 2025, the Ghana cedi appreciated by 42.6% against the US dollar, 30.3% against the British pound, and 25.6% against the euro. This is a significant reversal compared to the same period in 2024 when the cedi depreciated by 18.6%, 17.9%, and 16.0% respectively. Mr. Speaker, so far, we have almost reversed all the cedi depreciations in the year 2022, 2023, and 2024. Mr. Speaker, it is important for us to note that it is the first time that this level of appreciation has been recorded in the 60 years history of the Ghana cedi. Rating agencies, which once classified our sovereign creditworthiness as junk, are beginning to upgrade our ratings. Fitch Ratings upgraded Ghana's long-term foreign currency issuer default rating to B- with a stable outlook from restricted default on the 17th of June 2025. The IMF program is back on track with the successful conclusion of the fourth review by the IMF Executive Board on the 7th of July 2025, which immediately triggered the disbursement of $367 million United States dollars. Right Honorable Speaker, beyond the numbers, this is a story of sound leadership, better economic management, and a restoration of hope to a nation once in despair. Let me, on behalf of the President John Mahama, sincerely thank the people of Ghana for their trust, patience, and continued support. We do not take your sacrifice for granted. Mr. Speaker, this government did not come to simply manage the decline. We came to reverse it and reset our country. The gains of these first 6 months are just the beginning. Mr. Speaker, these early successes only encourages us to stay the focus, stay disciplined, and continue to do more for the people of Ghana. There is still a long road ahead, but our steps are now steadier. Our direction clearer, and the national spirit has been lifted with the gradual restoration of hope in our democracy. We have moved from promises to purpose, from ineptitude to action, and from distress to relief. Mr. Speaker, we have established policy credibility and restored credit worthiness. Right Honorable Speaker, the rest of my presentation will focus on 4 areas: macroeconomic performance for the first 6 months of 2025, the status of Ghana's debt restructuring, and the status of implementation of key government programs. Before I conclude, macroeconomic performance, Mr. Speaker, for January to June 2025. Mr. Speaker, the first half of 2025 has demonstrated our government commitment to economic recovery. Through prudent fiscal management, sound monetary policies, effective structural reforms, and strategic investment, we are laying a solid foundation for sustainable growth and shared prosperity. To put the assessment of the economy in the first half of 2025 in a proper perspective, it will be useful to restate the ambitious yet attainable macroeconomic target we set for ourselves for the year 2025. Mr. Speaker, we set for ourselves an overall real GDP growth of at least 4%, non-oil real GDP growth of at least 4.8%, end-year inflation rate of at least 11.9%, primary balance on commitment basis at a surplus of 1.5% of GDP, and gross international reserves covering not less than 3 months of import cover. Right Honorable Speaker, I now take you to the real sector. Mr. Speaker, despite global economic uncertainties, Ghana's economy demonstrated robust growth. In the first half of 2025, the economy expanded by 5.3%, up from 4.9% in the same period of 2024, marking the highest first quarter growth since 2020. The agriculture sector led this growth with a remarkable 6.6% increase, about 3 times the growth in the first quarter of 2024. The agriculture sector growth contributed 26.4% of the overall first quarter growth. The fishing subsector grew the most at 16.4%. Mr. Speaker, the service sector constituting the largest share of the economy of 46.8% grew by 5.9% and contributed 47.9% to the overall first quarter growth, with information and communication technology leading the growth in the sector at 13.1%. Industry grew by 3.4% in the first quarter of 2025, contributing 20.6% to the overall first quarter growth. Manufacturing also posted an impressive growth of 6.6%. Right Honorable Speaker, non-oil GDP growth, the real sector, also picked up strongly, growing at 6.8% in the first quarter of 2025, compared to the growth rate of 4.3% in the same period in 2024. Importantly, Mr. Speaker, the non-oil GDP growth is the highest since 2018. It is expected that with the introduction of our 24-hour economy policy, the Big Push program, and the Agriculture for Economic Transformation program, the GDP growth will be sustained and possibly exceed the target of 4% for the year 2025. Mr. Speaker, I now take you to prices. Right Honorable Speaker, we pledge to pursue the following to reduce inflation. We pledge to implement aggressive fiscal consolidation drive aimed at reducing the fiscal deficit and borrowing. Mr. Speaker, we pledge to stabilize the exchange rate to reduce inflation on items that rely on the exchange rate for pricing, such as fuel, transportation, imported sugar, rice, and cooking oil. We pledge to implement policies that target items with large weight in the CPI basket, such as transportation and utilities, to reduce their prices. We also pledge to implement through the Bank of Ghana. The Bank of Ghana to implement an appropriate monetary policy stance and use its liquidity management interventions to support the disinflation process. And finally, Mr. Speaker, we pledge to implement agriculture for economic transformation agenda to reduce food inflation. Mr. Speaker, it is instructive to know that these intentional policies announced in the 2025 budget to tame inflation are yielding massive results. Inflation pressures have eased significantly. The drastic fall in inflation is not by chance or sheer luck, but as a result of hard work and deliberate government policies. Mr. Speaker, consumer price inflation has reduced from 23.8% in December 2024 to 10.1 percentage point decline. Similarly, producer price inflation saw a sharp decline from 26.1% in December 2024 to 5.9% in June 2025, representing a steep decline of 20.2 percentage points in just 6 months. So, Speaker, food inflation declined from 27.8% in December 2024 to 16.3% in June 2025, representing an encouraging 11.5 percentage point reduction. Non-food inflation also declined from 20.3% in December 2024 to 11.4% in June 2025, representing 8.9 percentage point reduction. Inflation for locally produced goods and services declined from 26.4% in December 2024 to 14% in June 2025. Right, Honorable Speaker, inflation for imported items decreased from 18% in December 2024 to 12.5% in June 2025. These improvements are reflective of the effective fiscal consolidation, tight monetary policy, strong central bank reserves, and the appreciation of the Ghana cedis. Mr. Speaker, with this trend, we are focused and determined to achieve our end December 2025 inflation target of 11.9% ahead of schedule. Mr. Speaker, let me assure this House and the people of Ghana that things can only get better in the coming days. Mr. Speaker, I now take you to interest rate movement. Interest rates have declined, reflecting improved macro conditions. Mr. Speaker, the 91-day Treasury bill rate has reduced by 13 percentage points from 27.7% in December 2024 to 14.7% in June 2025. Similar trends were observed in the 182 days and the 364 days bills. The 182-day Treasury bill rate decreased by 13.1 percentage points from 28.43 in December 2024 to 15.34 in June 2025. The 364 Treasury bill rate also declined by 14.19 percentage points from 29.95 in December 2025 to 15.76 in June 2025. The average lending rate decreased from 30.3% in December 2024 to 27% in June 2025. Right, Honorable Speaker, the Ghana reference rate fell from 29.31% in December 2024 to 24.0% in June 2025. Mr. Speaker, things can only get better. Right, Honorable Speaker, we have indeed saved 4.9 billion Ghana cedis on domestic interest payment as at end June 2025 due to our prudent debt management policy. Mr. Speaker, I now take you to fiscal performance. Mr. Speaker, our fiscal discipline has yielded the needed and remarkable results so far. We have delivered below target deficit on both cash and commitment basis. We have delivered a greater than anticipated primary surplus, the core fiscal anchor. We have delivered a strong expenditure and commitment control. We have delivered robust tax revenue performance. Mr. Speaker, provisional data shows that the primary balance on commitment basis, the fiscal anchor, as at end June 2025, recorded a surplus of 1.1% of GDP. surpassing the target surplus of 0.4% of GDP set for the same period. The overall fiscal deficit on commitment basis was a deficit of 0.7% of GDP, better than the deficit target of 1.8% of GDP. Mr. Speaker, on cash basis, the overall balance recorded a deficit of 1.1% of GDP. This is significantly better than the projected deficit target of 2.4% of GDP. The primary balance on cash basis turned surplus at 0.7% of GDP against a projected deficit of 0.2% of GDP. The non-oil tax revenue, net, exceeded target by about 787 million Ghana cedis. Corporate income tax exceeded target by 555.3 million, representing 2.9% above target. Mineral royalties exceeded its target by 143 million. Mr. Speaker, unfortunately, import duties fell short of target by 1.6 billion. Expenditures were contained at 109.7 billion Ghana cedis, or 7.8% of GDP. This was 14.3% below the program amount of 128 billion, or 9.1% of GDP, reflecting strong expenditure control. Mr. Speaker, primary expenditure on non-interest expenditure on commitment basis amounted to 84.3 billion, or 6.0% of GDP. This is an improvement of about 13.3 billion over the target of 97.5 billion, which is 7% of our GDP. Mr. Speaker, interest payment amounted to 25.4 billion, which is 1.8% of GDP. This is below the target of 30.5 billion, which is 2.2% of GDP, and this was mainly due to lower domestic interest payment. Domestic interest payment amounted to 21.6 billion against a target of 26.5 billion, representing a reduction of 4.9 billion Ghana cedis, mainly on account of lower than planned domestic borrowing and a decline in the T-bill rates. Mr. Speaker, external interest payment amounted to 3.8 billion Ghana cedis against a target of 4 billion, due mainly to the appreciation of the Ghana cedis. Other expenditure, mainly comprising energy sector levies, transfers and energy sector payment shortfalls, amounted to 11.4 billion Ghana cedis, or 8% of GDP. This was 12.7% below the target of 13.1, or 0.9% of GDP for the same period. Right Honorable Speaker, arrest clearance amounted to 4.8 billion Ghana cedis. It is important to note that there was no build-up in arrest payable during the period under review, signaling strong commitment control and fiscal discipline. Mr. Speaker, we are very different from our friends that decided to flee from the chamber. Mr. Speaker, the deficit was largely financed from domestic sources, with net domestic financing of 13.1 billion, well below the 18.7 billion target. The net foreign financing was 2.8 billion, mostly from the utilization of the 4.5 billion IMF disbursement. So, Speaker, between 1st of January to 6th of January, the IMF disbursement of 4.5 billion was spent before the Mahama administration took office, just in 6 days. Mr. Speaker, project loan disbursement was 2.4 billion Ghana cedis. Mr. Speaker, even though Ghana is relying on the domestic market for financing, we have borrowed less than we planned, signifying strong expenditure control and fiscal discipline. Right Honorable Speaker, this is a strong signal to the investor community and all stakeholders that the needed fiscal consolidation is happening here in Ghana, and it will be sustained. Right Honorable Speaker, Ghana is back on the international scene. Mr. Speaker, exchange rate development. Right Honorable Speaker, government commitment to implement the following measures, committed to implement the following measures to stabilize the exchange rate. Mr. Speaker, we committed to establish the Ghana Gold Board to enhance the generation and accumulation of foreign exchange to support the stability of our currency. Mr. Speaker, we committed to pursue strong fiscal consolidation through the reduction in public sector spending and the fiscal deficit to reduce the pressures on the exchange rate. Mr. Speaker, the Bank of Ghana also committed to implement appropriate FX forward auction to support the stability of the cedi. And Mr. Speaker, finally, we committed that the 24-hour economy and accelerated export development program will boost local production and reduce reliance on export. Right Honorable Speaker, let me state emphatically that these deliberate policies announced in the 2025 budget to stabilize the Ghana cedi are yielding massive results. The results we are witnessing are not by chance. They are the fruits of hard work, discipline, and intentional policies. Mr. Speaker, the cedi performance in the first half of the year 2025 has been impressive. The Ghana cedi experienced significant appreciation against all major trading currencies in the first 6 months of 2025. I'm happy to inform the House that our previous record, where the Ghana cedi used to trade against the US dollar at 17, is as at yesterday trading at 10.4. Mr. Speaker, similarly, the Ghana cedi, which was once trading at 21 cedis to the British pound, was trading at 14.1 as at yesterday, 23rd July 2025. Mr. Speaker, as at end June 2025, the cedi appreciated by 42.6% against the US dollar, 30.3% against the British pound, and 25.6% against the euro. This is a significant improvement over the cedi depreciation of 18.6%, 17.9%, and 16.0% against the US dollar, British pound, and the euro. Mr. Speaker, I repeat, so far, we have almost reversed all the cedi depreciation in 2022, 2023, and 2024. This level of appreciation has never happened in the history of our country. Mr. Speaker, Right Honorable Speaker, fellow citizens, Ghana cedi no apeke. Cedi no apeke. Mr. Speaker, these gains are largely due to strong fiscal consolidation, tight monetary policy, improved external sector balance, renewed investor confidence, positive market sentiment, credit rating upgrades, and successfully securing staff-level agreement and subsequently the board-level approval of the fourth review of the IMF program. Right Honorable Speaker, the cedi rebound signals that Ghana's economic foundations are once again beginning to firm up. Sustaining this stability will require continued fiscal discipline, supportive monetary policy, strong liquidity sterilization, robust reserve accumulation, supported by activities of the Ghana Gold Board, and credible implementation of structural reforms. Mr. Speaker, I now take you to the external sector. Right Honorable Speaker, our external sector has shown remarkable improvement in the last 6 months. Gross international reserves reached $11.12 billion by June 2025, covering 4.8 months of imports, up from $8.98 billion in December 2024, equivalent to 4 months of import cover. Mr. Speaker, in just 6 months, even before the IMF and World Bank disbursement, in fact, without external borrowing, we have added $2.14 billion to the country's gross international reserves. Right Honorable Speaker, trade surplus increased from $1.37 billion in June 2024 to $5.57 billion in June 2024, representing a whopping 306.6% increase just in 6 months. Mr. Speaker, this was driven by strong exports, particularly in gold, cocoa, and controlled imports. Mr. Speaker, the current account surplus improved significantly to a provisional $3.44 billion by June 2025, from $28.11 billion in June 2024. Provisional net capital and financial inflows reached $937.58 million in June 2025, indicating renewed investor confidence. So, Speaker, I take you to monetary and the financial sector development. Right Honorable Speaker, monetary indicators point to a sustained monetary expansion. Credit to the private sector increased by about 31.3% in June 2025. Reserve money growth moderated, and M2 growth remained consistent, supported by increased deposit mobilization and improved net foreign asset. Net domestic asset growth slowed, while net foreign asset surged, indicating a shift in liquidity drivers toward financial sector cleanup exercise. The previous NPP administration left NIB in dire strait, with a capital adequacy ratio of a negative 53.13% by end of June 2024. Mr. Speaker, we have successfully, Right Honorable Speaker, President Mahama and the NDC have successfully recapitalized the National Investment Bank by implementing an ambitious and credible plan to return NIB to profitability and sustainability. Mr. Speaker, we have taken the following steps. Right Honorable Speaker, we have injected a total cash of 450 million Ghana cedis. Mr. Speaker, we also issued remarkable bonds with face value of 1.5 billion Ghana cedis to the National Investment Bank. Mr. Speaker, we transferred 500 million Government of Ghana shares in the Nestle Ghana Limited to the National Investment Bank. Right Honorable Speaker, these transfers have significantly improved the capital adequacy ratio from negative 53.13% at the end of December 2024. A positive administration, we chose to spend to save a bank than spend to collapse a bank. Right Honorable Speaker, we have also prepared a forward-looking, overarching restructuring plan for the National Investment Bank to put the bank on a sustainable path of profitability. The plan also aims to enhance board independence and objectivity, strengthen risk management, promote accountability and transparency, prevent insider dominance, and improve strategic decision-making. Mr. Speaker, this plan will, among others, strengthen corporate governance framework and systems, improve enterprise risk management and controls, establish a modern business model, revamp operational strategy, improve financial performance, institute and enhance supervisory measures, and eventually we will list the NIB on the Ghana Stock Exchange. Right Honorable Speaker, NIB now has a total paid-up capital of 3.4 billion Ghana cedis and a capital adequacy ratio of 23%. Mr. Speaker, on behalf of the President, I want to use this opportunity to assure the people of Ghana and depositors that our indigenous bank, the National Investment Bank, is now prime for business. More importantly, Mr. Speaker, NIB is back. NIB is now liquid. NIB is now safe. NIB is fully capitalized. Mr. Speaker, we therefore encourage all and sundry to do business with the revitalized National Investment Bank, NIB. Mr. Speaker, I now take you to credit ratings. Mr. Speaker, the progress we are making in our economic reforms and debt restructuring effort has been recognized internationally. On the 16th of June 2025, Fitch Rating upgraded Ghana's long-term foreign currency issuer default rating to B-, with the stable outlook from restricted. Right Honorable Speaker, to sustain these gains, we will, among others, do the following. We'll maintain fiscal discipline through continued implementation of prudent policies to promote fiscal and debt sustainability. We will continue the aggressive revenue mobilization by strengthening tax collection systems and broadening the tax base to increase domestic revenue without overburdening the citizens. Mr. Speaker, we will accelerate structural reforms in public financial management, including transparency and accountability measures to improve efficiency and reduce corruption. The Speaker will strengthen monetary policy framework, and the central bank will lead this to complement the effort that we are doing. Mr. Speaker, we will diversify the economy through investment in sectors beyond traditional export to reduce the vulnerability to commodity price shocks and promoting fiscal policies. I'll give you an update. Mr. Speaker, I start with VAT reforms. Mr. Speaker, in the 2025 budget statement, we reaffirmed our commitment to the people of Ghana and the business community to undertake comprehensive value-added tax reforms this year. These reforms are aimed at addressing the distortions and cascading effect inherent in the current VAT structure. Bill. Mr. Speaker, COVID levy will be abolished. The effective VAT rate will be reduced. The punitive cascading effect of the GET Fund and NHIS levy will be removed. VAT flat rate will be removed, and a unified VAT rate will be implemented. The VAT registration threshold will be increased to exempt small and micro businesses, and compliance will be improved through public education, awareness creation, and the introduction of fiscal electronic devices will be deployed. So, Speaker, I now take you to expenditure measures as part of the fiscal. Right, Honorable Speaker. As part of the fiscal consolidation strategy, we have taken measures to sanitize public sector payroll and rid it of ghost names. Subsequently, we engaged the Ghana Audit Service to undertake a nationwide payroll audit across all 16 regions of the country. The Speaker, the Audit Service has completed 91% of the payroll audit. So far, the Audit Service has not been able to identify or verify over 14,000 workers. Mr. Speaker, again, they have identified 53,311 separated staff on the payroll. Mr. Speaker, separated staffs are staff who are either on retirement, reassigned, terminated, or are on leave without pay, or deceased, and yet remain on government payroll. Mr. Speaker, the Audit Service expects to recover a minimum of 150.4 million of unearned salary from the separated staff over 2023 and 2024 period alone. Right, Honorable Speaker, going forward, we will enforce the monthly payroll validation process and strictly apply sanctions to all who validate ghosts for payment of salaries. Mr. Speaker, let me use this opportunity to strongly caution those who validate ghosts across the public service, that they will be personally liable for the loss of public funds. Mr. Speaker, let me repeat. Let me use this opportunity to strongly caution those who validate ghosts across the public service that they will be personally liable for the loss of public funds. Right, Honorable Speaker, the Ministry of Finance will continue to monitor this payroll and put in place measures to prevent ghosts on the payroll going forward. Mr. Speaker, I now give you an update on the arrears payable audit that we did. Mr. Speaker, in the 2025 budget, we announced the launch of an audit of arrears and payables as at end December 2024. The Ghana Audit Service partnered with EY and PwC to undertake this audit. Mr. Speaker, the Audit Service was tasked to audit and validate 68.7 billion Ghana cedis. Mr. Speaker, 68.7 billion Ghana cedis. So far, Mr. Speaker, 87% of the audit has been completed. Results show so far are as follows. Mr. Speaker, a total of 28.3 billion Ghana cedis has been validated for payment. Mr. Speaker, 27.3 billion is pending validation as we speak. Right, Honorable Speaker, an amount of 3.6 billion Ghana cedis has been rejected because of errors, duplication, and non-compliance with PFM and procurement rules. Mr. Speaker, of this amount, 562.6 million is without adequate supporting document. Mr. Speaker, the outcome of this audit will blow your mind. Blow your mind. Mr. Speaker, The audit is expected to be completed by end of August 2025. Once finalized, we will update the House on the findings and outcomes. Mr. Speaker, I now take you to update on the IMF program. Update on the IMF program. Right Honorable Speaker, Ghana remains on track on the implementation of the IMF program. A staff-level agreement was reached during the 4th review mission in April 2025, and we received executive board approval on the 7th of July 2025. This unlocked $367 million disbursement, bringing the total disbursement under this program to $2.3 billion. The 5th review, which is scheduled for September 2025, will be based on June 2025 data. Mr. Speaker, I'm comfortable that Ghana is on course to achieve most of the target for the 5th review. Mr. Speaker, I now take you to public debt development. Public debt development. Right Honorable Speaker, our commitment to fiscal discipline, through prudent debt management and exchange rate appreciation has resulted in a significant improvement in Ghana's debt profile. Public debt reduced from 726.7 billion as at end December 2024 to 613 billion as at end June 2025. Mr. Speaker, Ghana's public debt reduced by 113.7 billion Ghana cedis in 6 months. Mr. Speaker, for the first time in Ghana's history, there is a negative 15.6% rate of debt accumulation. Right Honorable Speaker, Ghana's public debt to GDP ratio as at end June 2025 was 43.8% from the 61.8% of end December 2024. Mr. Speaker, Ghana's public debt as a percentage of GDP reduced by 18% of GDP in the last 6 months. Ghana's foreign debt as a percentage of total public debt declined from 57.4% as at end December 2024 to 49% by end June 2025. Mr. Speaker, this has significantly improved Ghana's debt sustainability. Mr. Speaker, I now take you to update on debt restructuring. Update on debt restructuring. Right Honorable Speaker, government remains committed to restructuring our bilateral and commercial debt under the G20 Common Framework. On the 24th of June 2025, the House approved an indicative terms of the Memorandum of Understanding between Ghana and Official Creditors Committee. On behalf of His Excellency the President, I wish to thank this House for swift action which has enabled Ghana to begin negotiation for the signing of bilateral agreement with each of the creditor countries. We are ready to sign the agreement with 2 countries as at tomorrow. Mr. Speaker, it is expected that 4 agreements will be signed by close of tomorrow. First, we'll sign with France, and the second will sign with another country yet to be confirmed. Mr. Speaker, on the commercial debt restructuring, we have signed non-disclosure agreement, NDAs, with some commercial lenders, in line with the government's strong commitment to honoring its debt obligation. We have made 2 debt service payments of about $700 million to our Eurobond holders. Mr. Speaker, on the domestic front, government continues to meet its commitment towards the domestic bondholders. For the first half of 2025, a total of 9.8 billion Ghana cedis was paid to coupons to DDEP bondholders, of which 3.6 billion Ghana cedis was capitalized. Right Honorable Speaker, for non-tendered bondholders, government paid a total of 1.1 billion Ghana cedis. This was the outstanding debt service as at 2024. Mr. Speaker, for the second half of 2025, an amount of 10.2 billion Ghana cedis is due as coupon payment on the DDEP bonds and 724.1 million as debt service for the non-tendered bondholders. It is important to note that government remains committed to honoring its debt service obligation, and therefore, we have made sufficient preparation towards the settlement of this debt, and bondholders should not worry, this amount will be paid in due course. Mr. Speaker, priority project under the restructured bilateral debt. Following Ghana's default on its external debt service obligation on the 19th December 2022, creditors halted disbursement of 55 bilateral projects. This resulted in several uncompleted projects dotted across the country, with a massive $3 billion US dollars in undisbursed loans. The IMF and Official Creditors Committee annual disbursement ceiling of $250 million for official creditors' loan implies that it would take 12 good years to fully draw down on the undisbursed loans. Under the MOU with the Official Creditors Committee, the government of Ghana was required to submit a priority list to accommodate the $250 million annual disbursement ceiling. Right Honourable Speaker, during the presentation of the 2025 budget and economic policy of government, I informed this House that we will engage to resolve this challenge. Following the extensive engagement, government has submitted a priority list of 24 projects to the OCC and the IMF. This is expected to trigger resumption of disbursement for projects on the priority list upon the signing of bilateral agreement between Ghana and the creditor countries. We aim to ensure that all the priority projects are completed and commissioned by end 2028. Mr. Speaker, the priority projects are as follows. We are going to build a new bridge across the Volta River at Volivo. Mr. Speaker, the reconstruction of Tema Aflao Road project, phase 1. Tema motorway runabout through Ashiaman runabout to Atimpoku. The construction of 14 pedestrian bridges, Kumasi roads and drainage extension. Mr. Speaker, Power Grant interchange and the Secondary Takrady Township Road, phase 1. Rehabilitation of Dome Kitasi Road, Obichebi Lamte interchange, phase 2. Bogatanga Boko Pomakrom Road, PTC runabout interchange project at Takrady. Construction of drinking water facilities in Wenchi. Secondary Takrady water supply. Modernization of Komfo Anoche Teaching Hospital. Construction of central medical stores in Tema. Efia Nkwanta Regional Hospital in Takrady. Bogatanga Regional Hospital. Establishment of the University of Environment and Sustainable Development at Bonsu. Establishment of 9 state-of-the-art technical and vocational education training center. And, Mr. Speaker, integrated e-learning laboratories in senior high schools. Mr. Speaker, that's not all. The expansion and development of existing senior high schools, renewable energy program, pilot photovoltaic system, Mr. Speaker, the renewable energy and energy efficiency program, and the construction of Takrady Market. Mr. Speaker, finally, the Kumasi Central Market, phase 2. Mr. Speaker, the main criterion for the selection of this project was closeness to completion. As a result, projects which were over 70% complete were given priority. The resumption of disbursement for the project and its associated debt service are fully in line with our commitment under the bilateral debt restructuring and IMF program. Right Honourable Speaker, there's no room for an increase in scope for any of the projects on the priority list as agreed upon at the IMF and the OCC. Implementing agencies must take note and comply accordingly. Mr. Speaker, I repeat, there is no room for any increase in scope for work for any of the projects on the priority list agreed upon with the IMF and the Official Creditors Committee. Implementing agencies must take note and comply accordingly. Mr. Speaker, it has come to the attention of the Ministry of Finance that a number of contractors implementing some of these 55 stalled projects have drawn down on the loans with no work done to match the amount drawn down. Mr. Speaker, sadly, it has come to the attention of the Ministry of Finance that a number of contractors implementing some of these 55 projects have drawn down on the loans with no work done to match the amount drawn down. Again, some contractors have submitted additional costs in excess of what Parliament approved. The Ministry of Finance has accordingly commissioned a forensic audit into this project. Mr. Speaker, we will apprise the House when this audit is completed. And Mr. Speaker, for emphasis, the Auditor General is the one doing this forensic audit in partnership with some of the Big Four. Update on sinking fund. Mr. Speaker, in the 2025 budget statement, government announced that it will commence the operationalization of Section 37 to 44 of the Public Financial Management Act, Act 921, as amended, to build sufficient buffers in the sinking fund for prompt redemption of specified loans obligations of government. Mr. Speaker, government has set up a CD sinking fund account and US dollar sinking fund account. Beginning August 2025, the Ministry of Finance will commence the building of cash buffers to support the repayment of Ghana's domestic debt service obligation relating to the domestic debt exchange program bonds, which will fall due in the year 2027, 2028, and even 2026. Mr. Speaker, the CD sinking fund will specifically target the redemption and debt service harms in 2026 of 20 billion US dollars, Ghana cedis, for the year 2026, 50.3 billion Ghana cedis for the year 2027, and 45.75 billion Ghana cedis for the year 2025. Similarly, the US dollar sinking fund account will also target Eurobond redemption, which will fall due from 2026 of 1.45 billion US dollars, 1.17 billion US dollars in 2027, and 1.14 billion US dollars in the year 2028. Mr. Speaker, the implementation of the sinking fund will provide a reliable buffers that ensures timely and predictable redemption of designated public debt obligation. This structured approach to debt service will enhance investor confidence and contribute to long-term debt sustainability of our dear country. Mr. Speaker, I now take you to Government of Ghana's liability management operations. Mr. Speaker, government has begun an implementation of an effective and efficient liability management program to reduce embedded risk on debt portfolio. Our liability management operation will, 1, reduce debt service costs and mitigate refinancing or rollover risk, extend maturities to alleviate near-term financing pressures, Mr. Speaker, to optimize the debt portfolio by rebalancing the mix of short-term versus long-term instruments and strengthen market confidence. Under our liability management operations, Mr. Speaker, we will analyze the domestic bond market to assess suitability for bonds buybacks. We will carefully sequence issuance of benchmark securities and prioritize longer dated tenor to establish a stable yield curve. Mr. Speaker, I take you to primary dealers and bond market specialist system as we inherited. Mr. Speaker, our debt management strategy is to use treasury bills for cash management purposes only. We intend to reopen the domestic bond market to finance the budget deficit. The reopening of the domestic bond market will aim at creating a more competitive primary market that can deliver the volume and pricing to enable the government lower its borrowing costs. Mr. Speaker, beginning August 2025, we will commence the selection of new book runners to assist government in the reopening of the domestic bond market. Mr. Speaker, for emphasis, beginning 2025 August, the government of Ghana will commence the selection of new book runners to assist government in the reopening of the domestic bond market. Mr. Speaker, the selection of book runners will focus on banks and investment dealers with the ability to achieve a wider market distribution and advice on pricing and structuring. Mr. Speaker, I now take you to revised macroeconomic framework. Mr. Speaker, macroeconomic target. Economic development in the first half of the year do not warrant a revision to the macroeconomic target and the appropriations bill. Mr. Speaker, I am not asking for additional money from the Appropriations Act. we maintain the following macroeconomic target for 2025. 1. Overall GDP growth at least 4.0%. At least. Non-oil GDP growth of at least 4.8%. End-year inflation rate of 11.9%. Primary balance on commitment basis at a surplus of 1.5% of GDP. And gross international reserves covering not less than 3 months of import. Mr. Speaker, although we have made significant progress, we are cautiously optimistic. Right Honorable Speaker, despite maintaining our macroeconomic target for 2025, including the primary balance on commitment basis of a surplus of 1.5% of GDP, we are revising both revenue and expenditure projections to reflect the impact of the additional revenue from the Energy Sector Levies Amendment Act 2025, Act 1141. Revisions to revenue. Revisions to revenue. Right Honorable Speaker, as a result, total revenue and grant has been revised upwards from the 2025 budget target of 227.1 billion to 229.9 billion, or from 16.2% of GDP to 16.4% of GDP. This represents a nominal increase of 1.3%. Mr. Speaker, the additional revenue of 2.9 billion Ghana cedis will come from the increase in revenues from the amendment to the Energy Sector Levies Act. Mr. Speaker, I now take you to revisions to expenditures. Revisions to expenditures. Mr. Speaker, total expenditure on commitment basis has been revised downwards from 269.5 billion from the original budget projection of 270.9 billion Ghana cedis. However, primary expenditures has been revised upwards to 209.6 billion from the original budget projection of 206.8 billion Ghana cedis. This upward adjustment reflects an increase in the allocation to support energy sector payment. Mr. Speaker, interest payments have been revised downwards by 4.3 billion Ghana cedis from the original budget projection of 64.1 billion to 59.9 billion cedis. Right Honorable Speaker, domestic interest has been revised downwards by 5.1 billion Ghana cedis, mainly on account of gains from the reduction in the Treasury bill rate as a result of the implementation of our prudent debt management policies. However, external interest payments have been revised upwards by 795 million to make additional provision for debt service due on post-cutoff date disbursement made by our bilateral creditors since 2023. Mr. Speaker, energy sector payments have also been revised upwards by 2.9 billion Ghana cedis to provision for fuel purchases for power generation. Mr. Speaker, I now take you to overall balance and financing. Right Honorable Speaker, notwithstanding the revisions to revenue and expenditure, the primary balance on commitment basis remains unchanged at a surplus of 1.5% of GDP. Based on the revisions to revenue and expenditure, the following fiscal balance on cash basis improves from a deficit of 4.1% of GDP to 3.8% of GDP. I mean the fiscal balance. The overall fiscal balance on commitment basis improves from a deficit of 3.1% to 2.8%, and the projected annual borrowing needs of government reduced by 4.3 billion Ghana cedis. Simple put, we will be borrowing less by 4.3 billion Ghana cedis. Mr. Speaker, risk to 2025 budget, risk to the 2025 fiscal framework. Mr. Speaker, despite the robust fiscal performance, there are some underlying risks which pose a threat to the 2025 fiscal framework. The risks are as follows: shortfalls in customs revenue, smuggling of marine gas oil, mounting wage pressures, and pricing and award of contract in foreign currency. The Speaker, I'll take them one by one. Customs revenue. Right Honourable Speaker, customs revenue recorded a significant shortfall of 1.6 billion, even though the overall revenue is doing well, representing 12.7% reduction from the first half of 2025. This performance is attributed to systemic revenue leakage at key customs collection points, particularly the Tema Port and the smuggling of goods across our land borders. Mr. Speaker, these developments pose risk to the attainment of our revenue target for the year 2025. To mitigate these risks, government is implementing the following measures to address the existing operational challenges to safeguard revenue. 1, we will adopt the use of artificial intelligence, AI, to minimize human interference in revenue assessment, supporting the validation of the country of origin, as well as the accuracy of classification and valuation of imported goods. So, Speaker, we are rolling out advanced cargo information system to ensure that the Ghana Port and Harbours Authority, GPHA, and the Ghana Revenue Authority, the GRA, receives comprehensive shipment detail at least 24 hours prior to vessel departure from the port of origin. The Speaker, this will enable pre-arrival risk assessment, reduce the need for documentation amendment, and facilitate more accurate and timely duty assessment. We will also be implementing a robust anti-smuggling surveillance program targeting both inland and maritime borders. And to those at Sankasi, we are coming after you. Mr. Speaker, Mr. of Education, Health, and the Security Sector. In addition, ad hoc reviews of conditions of service undertaken in previous years have distorted the single spine pay policy and further burdened the public wage. Mr. Speaker, number 1, we'll conduct regular nationwide staff payroll audit to sanitize the payroll. Mr. Speaker, we'll be realigning all staff from overstaffed areas and defunct MDAs